Yeah, good morning from sunny Australia. A bit chilly this morning before we start. Typical spring day. Sharpening up some tools. I generally sharpen them all before I start. That way I can work most of the day without having to stop and sharpen. Good day, Andrew. How are you? Yeah, I'm very reasonably well anyway. Just sharpening up tools at the moment. Hey, you're finally awake.
I was downstairs having breakfast.
I thought that might have been the case. How are you?
Yeah, good, and yourself?
Pretty good.
That's the way.
Um, yeah, we got woodwork Andrew in at the moment.
Oh, yeah. How you going, Andrew?
At least I think it's Andrew. I hope it is. All right. All sharpened, all ready to go.
How many do you sharpen at once? How many do you sharpen at once?
All them.
Okay.
No, I sharpened about, oh, that'll last me all day now, probably without having to stop and sharpen. So unless I
Yeah.
hit a knot or something like that, I haven't sharpened the skew chisels yet. But I generally run about three screw chisels, 4 or 5 English roughing gouges, and about 3 or 4 European style gouges, and then just my normal spindle gouges.
Oh, yeah. Robert, David Nickel has just come in. How you going, David?
G'day, now David. Just rearranging cameras now.
Woodwork Learner said he normally goes by Andy, but Andrew's his name, yes.
Oh, okay, Andrew. Andy, sorry.
I don't think they want to see my ugly mug either.
No, I'll turn it around. I'll turn it off in a minute. Never fear.
Then you can adjust your picture a bit better, that's all.
Yeah. Right, just hold on a second.
I'm holding on to it.
Okay, good. G'day,
Can I let
Tommy.
go now? Yay. How you going, Tommy?
Bugger, missed one.
What's the Is that a flat spot on that piece of wood there, Robbo?
Yeah, oh, that'll disappear in a couple of minutes. That's where the long taper comes in.
All right.
I didn't get any done. We've spent a bit of time rearranging the workshop on Thursday and yesterday.
Yep.
Bring it back to how we normally work with the forklift in place. I'll show you in a minute. Won't I? Yeah, that's better.
So your woodworking fan is here to watch some woodworking, all right? Hey, as soon as I pressed the stream link, he came and sat on my lap.
Oh, yeah. Now, as you know, the other day I had them all stacked up on that rack up the back there.
Yep.
And I was pulling from there. Well, now we've brought the fork back in and we've got them all laid out on the fork here now.
Okay.
So if we can
At
put the
least you have to
finish
grab
one.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we can put the finish one straight on the rack up there.
Yeah.
Rather than having to climb over the top of everything.
And I suppose at least lifting the forklift up, all you have to do is slide a piece of wood onto the lathe then, hey, instead of lifting it so much.
Oh, I don't lift much anyway. These days I slide or roll.
I can roll faster than you can walk.
Yeah, probably.
How rude.
Well, you left yourself open for it.
I know that. Yeah. So I've got a couple of those lumps that I get from vibration.
Oh, yeah.
I went to bed with 2 and woke up with about 7 or 8. So.
Tell Amber to stop thumping you.
She calls it bedtime gymnastics.
Yeah.
He's getting a bit frustrated. Nothing's happening. Relax, mate. It's starting in a minute, bro.
Yeah, never fear, son. I'll be there.
So to everyone else in the chat, I'm actually talking to my cat. My cat likes to watch Robbo turn. He's pretty biased, and he likes to watch Robbo. Don't even watch me, man. How rude's that?
I need to get a bit more light on the subject too, so I'll go and turn some of them on.
I love people's appropriate timing for premieres.
Oh, yeah, that's all right. I actually forgot that JP had one on. I think it's JP, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's okay. Right, check tailstock. Oh, that one's wharfed overnight.
That's it, you're fired.
Sorry?
I said that's it, you're fired.
Oh, well. I'm probably in the way, am I?
Yeah, always.
Bloody big knots in there. And crack.
Chris Charlton has just come in. How you going, Chris?
Chris. Don't know if you can hear that or not.
Yep. Just clean up the corners here a little bit. Right, switch the extractors on. Whack it back into reverse.
Yeah, just a few cracks down it.
Far out. Crazy.
Uh, yeah, it's mongrels into this stuff.
Chris, he's copying the original one. The client actually had an original one left over, and it's the greeny bit up the back there. Yeah, that bit.
Just got to reshape that bit there. It's not quite right. That's better. I normally don't have to sand this long, but the timber's a little bit picky. By the time they're painted, nobody will know.
Mike and Rex have just come in. How you going, guys?
So Rex, Mike,
What are you finishing up, Mike? Come for a drive to Adams in about half an hour. Yeah. Oh, wow. No, we get filled in with paint anyway, Mike. It won't matter. It won't be seen.
what's that?
Oh, Mike said fill the cracks in with putty or a 2-part filler.
No. That's. I warned the customer that they will come as they come because try and fill these cracks down through here.
Yeah.
And like he said, he's more than capable of doing it himself. So why pay me $100 an hour when he can do it himself?
Yes.
All right.
Mike's making a blank for a posh hammer handle.
Yes, Rex. You asked something the other night on Terry's Live. How do you go straight in with a spindle gouge to form like Gothic beads and coves? Unfortunately, I'm not set up for that at the moment.
Rex has said, Robbo, have you turned red, yellow, cobalt?
Cooler bar.
Cooler bar. And how is it? He's just ordered 2 to 4 kilo size.
Yeah, hard. As in, it's. I take it you're talking about burl. So, yes, it's reasonably hard, but comes up beautifully when it's done.
Andy says he hasn't used a chain lift for years, but now he needs one just to get out of bed.
So I'll read that. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I know the same feeling, Andy. If I ever have to get down on the floor to get something, I'll make sure I drop 3 or 4 things to make it worthwhile, because it's going to take me half an hour to get back up again. Oh, come on, you mongrel. I'll turn the camera around so you can see what I'm doing if you like. You might not want to see, I don't know.
As long as you're still dressed, she'll be right.
Oops. Right. No, I never tried turning naked. I think it could be very painful around here. Splinters
Bloody
that get into all. Splinters that get into awkward places.
The wood chips hurt my thumb sometimes coming off the piece of wood, let alone touching a piece of the body that's normally covered by clothes.
Yeah.
Right. People that turn with no shoes on, they'd be able to walk over 3 corner jacks, I reckon.
Yeah, I reckon so. No, there's a lot of turners in Queensland that turn in bare feet. I can't do it.
All right, Rex is discovering stuff in the background now. He wants to know about the bowls on the shelf.
Nosy buggers. Nosy buggers.
Now, if you really want to be nosy, Rex, you want to ask what's in that yellow bag.
And another one bites the dust. Yeah, 10 years ago I could lift these things in by myself, but not no more.
And Rex would like to know, if you can remember, what wood those bowls are made out of.
I don't know. I'll find out what he's talking about first.
The bowls up the back on the back shelf up there.
Oh, there's some platters up there.
Right at head height, they look like bowls.
What, these?
Yeah.
No, they're mushrooms, actually. They're the tops of mushrooms. We used to supply a shop with mushrooms. I can't get them out properly at the moment, but they've got they were for actually kids' seats and things like that, and they could paint them and decorate them. We used to supply kids. It was a play. We used to make toys and things like that for kids, and supplied a shop with them. And they ordered a heap of mushrooms, so we did them for them. And then they cut the order in half, so I've been left with about 15 or 20 of them. And I gave some to my grandkids, and they thought they were fantastic. But the pain when people change the orders on you after you've done them.
You've had 2 people ask how many of these you have to make.
12 altogether. And I'm running horribly behind at the moment. Mainly because other things got in the way.
And Rex said he dripped CA glue onto his feet, and his wife laughed a lot.
So I'll just read that one.
Oh man, I might as well not even talk.
No, it's not that. I get occasionally I just can't hear it properly. How many more of those photos? Oh, no, you're not as bad as a friend of mine, Rex. I'll have to get in place here. Now, this is a mobile phone. A friend of mine was gluing up some stuff and it went through the cracks, flowed right through the cracks, and he got it on his hands. So he scratched his face. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. Got his hand glued to his face. So he picked up his mobile phone that was sitting on the bench. Didn't realise that the glue was on the mobile phone as well. So his finger stuck to the phone. So after he dialed the number, so he puts it up to his face. So he's stuck there with his mobile phone like this and his fingers on the thing as well. And he he rang me up to find out how to remove super glue. And I said, oh, well, you need acetone. Then he told me why. And it was 20 minutes before I could answer him because I was laughing so much. Fortunately, his wife came home then and took him down to the hospital to get him taken off. So, yeah, always be careful of super glue. Right, mark the centres of these.
The number he's doing, Chris, is 12. 12, sorry.
12, yeah.
Yep. Chris said he was talking to his wife and didn't hear your answer, that's all.
Oh.
Guess they work in the kitchen today.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Rex said that.
Woody!
Rex said that makes my gluing my lips together minor issue, except for Tammy laughing so hard she cried.
Yeah, well, that's just about what I was doing with my mate too.
Hey Rex, are you a comedian by any chance?
Oh.
It's a comedy of errors there, Rex.
This is what I like about the forklift. It's an adjustable workbench. The one up that end. This one down this end. It's all right, yakking to myself. The only problem with the forklift here, once you start lifting them in, you've got to walk all the way around it. come on, you mongrel, get up in there. Right, that's right. Normally I don't have this much garbage across the lathe, but been too busy trying to get other things done. Don't get the chain tangled up in it or you'll be in trouble. These posts are too long. I've got to walk backwards and forwards for miles. Yeah, I've been knowing myself for 40 years, Rex.
Oh, that's good, Mike. It'll give you a bit better idea on what to do with it if you glue it all back up.
Right, measure it out. Oh, where's my square gone to now? Here it is. $5.20, $15.80. God, if that last one had a lot of knots in it, that was mild compared to this one, I tell you. Whoa. This one must be well bent, I think. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Man, this really changes your...
Mike says you can see how bent it is against the tool rest.
Yeah.
And Andy said that's not a bit of wood, that's a banana.
Just about.
There's a question from Rex too, Robbo.
Is there? Right out.
And Greg Alexander has just come in. How you going, Greg?
Good day, Greg. All I'm doing at the moment is just roughly getting it into place, lining it up against the tool rest down the other end there. Still out a mile. That's looking pretty close down the far end. Now, this end. Ooh. Right there. I hate it when they're like this because they don't look good when you've done them. It's going to have to be close enough, I think.
You got a couple of questions there, Robbo.
Yeah.
I've got to duck out for about half an hour.
Okay, no worries. I'll answer
All
the
right.
questions in a second while I have a smoke.
All right. All right.
After
See you later,
one.
everyone.
See you, Jay. Thank you. Right. Just going back to Rex for a minute. We just bought 4 gouges, small and right. They bowl gouges or real gouges, spindle gouges. Spindle gouges, right. Spindle gouges generally I sharpen to a thumbnail grind, which is like so, just with a 45-degree angle on it. Now you can get the wings back too far. That's about as far as I take the wings back on them, but you've got to make sure that you don't get a point up in here. It's got to be a rounded, still rounded nose down in the bottom there. Otherwise they just bite in too much and they're pretty useless. So it's a sort of extended thumbnail, if you like. Not quite a lady finger grind, but just a slight sweat back on them. And at 45 degrees. I do have others that are slightly got different angles, but they're for particular jobs. Now, another question, Greg Alexander. Not as many as I could use, not as many as I could do 10 years ago, Greg. I used to knock out about 10 or 12 a day. But these days I'm lucky, and I must admit I work a lot slower these days, but I do about, if I'm really into it, I'll do 3 or 4. You'll get there, Rex. Are the posts 4 foot lengths? No, Chris, they're 10 foot long. Wish they were 4 foot lengths when they're this bent, I tell you. All right, check the tail stock. Make sure it's tight. Stand back out of the way while I turn it on. Put it into forward motion. Yeah, not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Right, run for a minute and check the tailstock again. Yeah, I'll just move the camera back a little bit, Chris, so as you can get a... Just loosen that one off. Yeah, from there, right down to there. So, yeah, not unusual. It's when I have to get down the other end that it really starts getting interested, when they're 30 feet long. Right, I'll just zoom in on this section so that you can see what I'm doing. This tripod's got that many adjustments on it. Right. No, I think they're just a fraction under 6 by 6. I'll tell you. Yeah, they're only 140 mil, so they're 3/8 of an inch under 6 inch. Right. You notice the post starts shaking sometimes, so I've just got to stop to let it come into balance again before I put the chisel on it. This is where it's important that you keep the bevel rubbing, because it helps stabilise the post a little bit. See how far I've got to go. Yeah, that just shows you how out of square the post is. We've got a fair bit on that side, starting under that side. It's clear on the other side, so it's got a bit of a waffle in it. Yeah, on this particular part, Rex, we don't hurry it. We just get it down fairly close, and then we start taking very light cuts to get it round. As I've said before, every time we stop the lathe to check something, check your tailstock. Don't want one of these coming off and chasing you across the room. Stay still, be nice. Nearly there. This is actually the part I hate doing. Man, it must be close. Have another look. G'day, Marlene. How are you? It's a name I haven't seen in there before. Oh, yeah, nearly there. Right. And yes, I am conscious of where my fingers are here. Yeah. We've got a slight flat spot in there, I think. So when I pull this in, I just sit it against it basically, and then when I tighten the bolt down the bottom, it preloads it. So if I need to take a little bit out, I can take a little bit more out. Beautiful. Just re-wax that. All right. Let's have a look. I saw a question there somewhere. Okay. G'day, Marcel. Sorry, I didn't see you there before. Why is that the part that you hate doing? Yeah. Because it's got no support and this post is 10 feet long, on skinnier posts, they can actually climb up over the tool and just come out between the centres. So instead of staying in the lathe, they decide they're going to go on a bit of an excursion. Like the post is 10 feet long. And Rex, why would somebody order 12 posts that's so knotted and cracking up so much to cut? Right. These posts were actually cut 25 to 30 years ago when he built the house. And the old veranda posts have all rotted out. Wait on, I'll swing the camera around so you can see. See the end here? I'll just tilt it down a bit. So the posts are all rotting up in the side here. So I had these around, so he's going to use them. That's the other problem with them. They are so dry, they're like a chip. And unfortunately, cypress, which I very rarely turn for things like this, for this reason, it's got more knots in it than a scout camp. And because it is so dry, these have just been rough sawn too. He didn't want a machine, so, and of course they get cracks down them as well, and the knots really cause problems. Yeah, that's basically it, Rex. Like the original ones were done in pine, I think. No, I think maybe they were cypress as well. So he just cut extra posts. But yeah, it creates a few headaches for us, but I'm used to having headaches. All right. Check the tailstock again. And now we can hook into it. Because the cuts aren't even on the end of the posts, I've sometimes got to move the tool rust to get it up into line with where I start and finish. So that's the advantage of these type of rests. I can just switch them along wherever I like. Too far, Robert. Back a 15. That's better. To line it up with the marks. Now that's the reason I don't use the traditional English gouge to start off with, because if these hit a knot, they'll quite often just snap like this one did a few years ago. So I always use a European style gouge. Boy, this is one flexible post. Hopping all over the joint. Now let's see how square we've got it. Not bad. Gonna have to live with it. It's an inch off centre now, up this tailstock end, trying to get even the centre bit in line. Nice knot right here. There. Knots everywhere in it. Over. C'est la vie. Yeah, good night, Andy. I'll be stopping shortly as well for lunch, so yeah, like look at the way it just chips out on the cracks. I don't know if you can see that or not. Just there. It's enough to make this fit, it is. All right, I'm going to knock it on the head for a little while I go and have something to eat and drink, and I'll be back on after lunch. It'll be getting fairly late for all you lot, or early in the morning, so if I don't see you, I'll see you tomorrow. Good night all, thanks for coming in, appreciate it. Okay, good luck, Rex. What sort of jig are you're using a one-way, aren't you? The vary grind. See you later, Mike. Chris. Marcel, that almost sounds French. Whereabouts you from, Marcel? Just out of interest. Franco-American, right, no worries. All right, good night all, thank you, or good morning, good afternoon, whatever it happens to be in your part of the world. Good to see you in, Marcel, and I think there was a Michelle up there as well somewhere. All right, bye all.